Welcome to the Port Charles Update with your hosts, Mish and Mel. Hello.
Hey, hey.
Okay, that's new. Hi to you too.
Trying something new. I don't know, trying to be lively.
So this is just a reminder that Mel won't be here next week. Me neither. Both
Like
of
you
us.
do solo?
No.
Is
No,
Johnny
so
going to be my stand-in? The role of Melanie is going to be played by Johnny.
could you imagine? No, I actually have off. I'm so excited. I cannot believe it's already the end of November because I have Friday,
No.
Monday, Tuesday off. So I didn't realize that our podcast break actually fell on a whole day off. And we're going to go to a coffee shop that's like decked out in Christmas theme. I'm so excited to go.
So excited for you.
Okay, so that was one reminder. The second thing
You can
is
do
that
it. You can do it. It's so awesome.
okay, so the kids and I basically I made it and the kids were around creating chaos and giving their input. And I told them to shush a lot while this was going on. But I still tell people the kids and I did it. So I made a coloring book. We made a coloring book. The kids and I made a coloring book.
As a family.
And yes, and it has like a lot of it basically they love cute animals and cute images. I absolutely love pandas, so I squeezed a picture in there. So it's not just a coloring book, it has this little extra component to it where you can collect all the cutie pies. We named it. And so you color and name them. And my kids love it because, well, they were a part of it. And it's pretty much everything that they love. And they love naming all of the creatures they color. And then my dad bought a bunch and for all of his grandkids. So Mel's kids have it also, and they are a bit bigger than mine.
They are, and they still love it, and we color, and we have a good time, and it's an awesome gift.
So yeah, so I will be posting it soon. I have to make a video, and that's different than podcasting. So 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 I will make a videos to kind of like show it a little bit more because Amazon just has like the cover and the back page. It was supposed to have after a certain time like a preview on the inside. So I'll make a video, I'll show it to you, I'll post it. There's a different link for the US and a different link for Canada. So like I'm telling you now, and at some point you'll notice it. So if you see this like thing that's completely 100% not General Hospital related, yeah, you'll know what it is. So yeah, it'll be like a fun add-on gift if you're shopping for anybody, which we all will be doing very, very soon.
Absolutely.
Okay, are we ready for whatever this week was?
You read my mind. Where would you like to start, my friend? My sister?
So so now we had a car accident.
But we didn't see two people on the road. We didn't
No.
even see any cars on the road. We didn't even know it was happening.
No, we saw a heart to heart in the backdrop. The backdrop was a fender bender. So that happened. I do have thoughts, but do you have thoughts? Like on like the fact that so much is happening. Did we need a scene where Christina was distracted in a car?
I don't think we needed that scene. But here's the thing, I don't remember if in that moment or in the moment that she went to her mom's place that they Samified her. And I did not like it.
Well, they did it to creep Alexis out for some
Of
reason. So
course.
Alexis is like staring at a
It's not
picture
Halloween.
of no, it's like a day later of like Sam, and then there's a voice that sounds absolutely nothing like Sam, and then she turns around and sees Christina in Sam's jacket,
With
and I'm like,
super straight hair.
yeah, and I'm like, okay, like we were trying to torture Alexis here. So this is somewhat what I was thinking, but I still am not confident necessarily and what they're doing, but I definitely had some thoughts about like Christina's character or perhaps what they're trying to do. So one thing that I did like about it is that we talk about Christina, and let's be real, like she basically believes the narrative of who she is, fed to her by the people closest to her. So,
Yes.
regardless of what Christina's managed to accomplish, like she's not all a walking mess. You know what I mean?
No.
Like she's this adult who lives on her own. She has a nice place. She's been working for like most of her life.
Hmm.
She started this foundation. Like there's a lot of things about her life that work, but there is this real extreme that she's nothing good at all. Like that's
Yes,
basically
sadly.
like the message, and her family has zero problem reminding her of this that she's
And
just a
telling
mess.
strangers.
Oh yeah, like everybody knows this. But we were saying that's so weird because it's not everything that she is. Like people grow and people evolve. And yeah, she's probably always going to be a little bit more chaotic than a some and a little bit more emotional than some. But I don't know, for the most part, functional human. Obviously, the dynamics in the family, not super functional, but that's a different thing. So
Yes.
we had thought a long ago that Natalia would serve a role for Christina. We thought it was going to be something like she was in a coma with the baby and Natalia would stand up for Christina for some reason because of Blaze.
Yes.
But we are
Yes.
seeing Natalia playing that role. She is an outside opinion and she does not see what everybody else sees.
Very
She's
true.
gotten to see a different side of her. So I thought that that was interesting. And then there was the conversation Sunny had with Natalia about Christina, and I'm like, okay, trying to understand what you're doing here. And then Sunny talks and says she reminds me of Adela, my mom. Like,
Hmm.
okay, he's talking about two vulnerable women who've been hurt that might be a little too forgiving. Fair, like, seeing the best in people. I definitely can see that. And then he says she's too good for this world.
I know.
So that was like a sweet thing to say.
Yeah.
And I guess for me, when I saw that conversation, I'm like, okay, okay. So there was that. And then there was like maybe last week after Sam died, Christina just started crying and saying, like, I'm not ready to be the oldest. And I'm like, you're an adult. What are you
Yep.
talking about? Nobody needs you
Yeah.
to play any role. Just continue to be an adult and everybody will be okay.
Just live your
Christina,
life.
but she made a point of saying that, and it's clear that Christina has an idea of who she is and the role she plays in her family, and this idea that like perhaps she needs to be something else. And so when I was listening to, putting all these pieces together, the Natalia
Hmm.
conversations, the Sunny, the Natalia ones, I was like, all right, so I guess that they are reshifting her character, and maybe they're going to take the focus away from like the screwed up part, because if you zoom in, everybody has a bad part, and that's
Yes.
hers. That they're going to zoom out a little bit and start shedding some light on these other sides of her, like the positive aspects of being an emotional or sensitive person. And so that's what I was thinking, that she is kind and gives people chances, and she does get hurt, but just switching the light a little bit. Then even with Alexis, like look at that, they're constantly pictured together,
Yes.
and they're trying to be on equal footing. I'm
Hmm.
not saying that she's the new Sam. I personally don't see it that way, but I do think they might try to show it like that.
Okay.
But either way, I just think they are shifting Christina's character into one that might be an equal, more, and just shifting the direction away from this screw up, if you will. But then I didn't know what to think because she went all revenge mode. But then she's like, you
Yes.
sound like Sunny. So then I wasn't sure what to think. But I do think they are playing with her character, like they are with many characters, which we'll get to.
Hmm.
But I do think they are playing with evolving her, because I would be real happy to move past this one dimensional version of Christina. They won't stop hammering because she's not just that.
Oh, exactly. Like we got to see all the sides of Christina this
There were
week.
many though. Not
Like we
gonna
got the
lie.
Natalia side, we got her with Sunny, we got her with Alexis. We had a really tender moment with her and Molly. We have her observation skills with Jason. Like we just got to see a lot of Christina this week.
Yeah. Yeah, we did actually. But what do you make of that?
I think along the lines of what you're saying, we see that when Alexis reacts, it's a lot of who Christina is, but there's not always somebody around to see it and compare it. She is very much a side of Alexis and she is very much a side of Sunny. Like,
Yeah.
regardless of, like, I feel like when everything happened with Dex, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm so freaked out. But it also opened up a side to her and an acceptance in Sunny's world in a different way, and almost like her accepting a little darkness too, because
Yes.
she is intrigued and she is fascinated. And she did, talk to her dad about having Ava taken care of, and or Kate's or whoever it was at the time that was making her angry. She was just like ready to be all in to like eliminate somebody.
Because with her mom, she, you know, it was scary. You know, she was very fixated on her version of justice and exactly what she wanted to happen. And it's like, but that is not how life works. And it is worrying.
Hmm.
But it's almost like I wonder if Christina will start to, because you talked about her accepting and opening up into this darker side. And I see that. And I wonder if we're going to find somebody who's just going to be more confident in all the aspects of themselves, right? Nobody is all anything. Nobody is perfect. And part of me is sick of like her having to apologize for not being perfect or stable all the time. So I
Yes.
think that for me, I just want to see maybe like Christina's defending herself a little bit more and being a bit more accepting of all the sides you talked about, and maybe being accepting of like these her more dangerous side and her emotional side and all of it. But I think what we're going to see is a stable person, and stable simply because she just accepts herself as she is, the way Sunny wholeheartedly accepts himself.
Oh my word. But I loved that. So they're bringing all these different characters into her life too that are not normally there on a regular basis. Like, of course, she's had her scenes with Natalia, but she's bringing a different perspective to Christina as to how she is seen. And then you have Christina's self awareness to call Carly to come to Jason to figure out this whole situation. So it's like, I love just watching her figure all of this out. And I love that she called Carly when it came to Jason. Because I'm like, is Christina going to go up and talk to Jason? Like, what's going to happen here with her little observation?
Yeah, I don't know if we're seeing her understand that world, understanding nuance a little bit, subtlety. Is this Christina practicing that? But yeah, I do think she can use a little bit more of Natalia. I do think she can use somebody challenging
Ooh.
the narrative
Mhm.
she has in her head of herself.
Yes, but also like Carly went through a really hard time when she was younger, and she went through that finding herself
Yes.
and finding that stability, but still she still expresses her emotions. So there is a part of Christina that would benefit from being around like a Carly. And even how Natalia is reevaluating who she is and the decisions that she's made. We obviously think she was with a Sidwell, and now she
Yes.
completely accepts a Sunny. So when you're talking about nuance, she's kind of attaching herself to two other women that come from that world and that perspective.
Oh, that's very true, actually. And then we finally did get a reintroduction of Molly. What did you think?
I, I was like, one, I've never heard Happy Birthday sung so sexily in a diner. So that's something.
Hmm.
Um, there was a level of flirtiness that like I was like I felt like I was invading like a naked scene.
Okay, so you felt it was quite intrusive.
It was very
Chemistry.
intimate, lot of
Hmm.
chemistry. He asked her if she liked chocolate. I was like, oh my god.
A lot of people commented on that.
I
You know,
saw
there
that
were
because I thought the same thing.
I was just thrown. I was
Yup.
thrown because I don't know. She bonded with Dex. Now she's bonding
Mm-hmm.
with Isaiah. Her
Mm-hmm.
mother-in-law's, I don't know, boy toy love interest. And like not once does she go, "Hey, my husband works at the hospital.
Yup. You must know
Hi.
him. He's a
Hi."
doctor.
He's also at the hospital, but no mention of anything, just the mention of her family, like as in Alexis, Sam, and Christina.
Yeah, she likes to leave the window of opportunity very open.
Yeah, I mean, those two are, I mean, look, she's more subtle because, and well, she never mentions that she's with anyone. And TJ is always open in the sense that anyone who will listen. I remember when he had this conversation with Gregory, right? He was like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, Christina, my sister-in-law, sucks." And like to anybody who would listen, he kind of like let out all his fam drama. And now with like Trina, he's like really open about him and Molly being like, yeah, it's not great. And you know what's fun about TJ and Trina? That cousins that know their cousins. And do you
Oh
know
my
what's
word.
interesting about it's so
Fun
sad,
fact.
right? It's so sad because it's like they're not bio cousins, but they're cousins. Because for a
Yes.
long time, TJ thought Curtis's brother was his dad. It's not,
Yes.
but she's Curtis's daughter. So it's like they're cousins, they're fam, and they know
They do that,
cousins
and
that
it's
know
very
their
refreshing. I
cousins.
am very happy about that.
Yeah, like no one ever understands how precious that really is. It simplifies your life tenfold, knowing who your cousins are. So yeah. So Molly has that moment. And okay, look, let's just get to it. There was a
Let's do it.
preview. And when they highlighted that someone could get pregnant, didn't you notice that they highlighted at least 4 women?
Yes,
Like
yes, I
4 women,
did.
not just like the voiceover and it was Sasha Willow. The pictures included was Molly and Christina too.
Yeah.
No, it was Brooklyn.
No, it
No.
was Brooklyn. Brooklyn.
So it was Brooklyn, Molly,
Sasha and Willow.
Tasha. Oh, anyways, so like Molly is like
What happened?
trashing. I'm back, guys. Molly was was trashing Christina. It's like my sister sucks. I'm the good one. I'm the perfect one. Nobody needs Christina. Um, and then he leaves. Christina shows up. She's like, "Oh my gosh, you remember my birthday? You're not such a like." She's like shocked that she's
Mhm.
not a terrible person.
I
But I
know.
need more than that. Like, I'm glad that she saw Christina. It was like, I do think you're horrible and I'm very angry with you. Valid. Be angry. But I kind of want more. Like, we're seeing a lot of we have seen, and I want to see both of them. But that's not enough for me in terms of like Molly. I don't know where she's at. Like, I'm getting clues in these scenes when she bumps into Dex and now Isaiah, but like, what's up with her? Like, I don't know. I kind of want to know. That's where I'm at right now. But
Well,
I'm
I would
also
like her
in
to have
just
some direction, right?
her dad came back and she's still alone. Like that's her deal.
I
Like
know.
the
It's so
theme of Molly
sad.
right now is I'm alone, I have no one.
Yeah.
But like it's not true. Like you have this, what is he called again? Not her husband,
Husband.
but legal
Oh.
companion. What did she call him?
I was
He's
like, did you forget
registered.
too? Because she forgot.
Yeah, like TJ's registered as her what? What
Her,
are
not
they?
her common law, her.
No, it's I don't domestic partner.
I was like, pedestrian? No.
Yeah, and he didn't even remember her birthday. The worst part is it's like,
Oof.
you know, Sam's not your sister, TJ. Like you don't have like the same you don't have the same stuff going on. Like it may, like if yeah, it's not good.
It's not good at all, friend. It's not good
But
at
I
all.
also I'm not having it though. Like I'm just like, can we not have this court case?
Oh my gosh, please. I can't handle it.
Because like when Christina's like, I want justice for Adela, I'm like, this is really bad because she won't stop saying Adela.
Yep.
Alexis doesn't say anything. She says the baby. She's like, okay, the baby. and, and like, but even Ava, when she's talking to Rick, keeps talking about Christina's baby, Christina's daughter.
Yeah. Yeah.
This court case is gonna be so brutal.
Oh yeah, so bad.
So brutal. And Christina is all I want her to be ripped from Avery and I want her to know it was me. And I'm like, but Christina, like it's been done. Avery has been ripped away from Ava and she lost Kiki. Like she does get it.
Yeah, she does.
Like Ava's a lot of things, but she's not a like, I want to kill your baby. Given that,
No.
forget me saying Michael, Nina literally ripped Avery out from her.
Yeah, it's bad. It's pretty
So
bad.
yeah. And I mean, now Ava's like, I shouldn't have moved the luggage. Yeah. She's like, the biggest mistake I ever made was storing his luggage. I'm like, no, like it was getting involved
It's
with him
good.
in total, like in total.
Just shaking my fist at that
She's
luggage.
like, oh man,
Luggage.
like I don't regret aligning with him. I do regret storing his luggage though. Even though he kidnapped me and tried to have me murdered, my biggest regret
Right?
was storing his luggage.
Oh my word.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's bad. Let's move away from Christina and all of that and the
Yeah.
court case and
Yeah,
everything. And
sure.
let's get to something a little salacious because there was one part this week that even I blushed.
What?
I had
What?
the
Is it
towel.
something Maxie said? Is it something Maxie said?
No, it was when
Okay.
Drew and Willow were in their
Oh.
gatehouse situation. And he's like, you have a tell. You blush when you lie. And she's like, that was a one time thing. It's never going to happen again. And she turns away. And he's like, you're blushing. I was like, oh my God.
Okay, so I experienced that dramatically differently. So so yes, I agree there was flirting, but this is how I saw it. I was like, man, they're pushing this. He's a bad person, like hard. Okay, like this is how hard they're pushing it.
Yes.
So let's just try to remember something. Drew's a Navy SEAL. He supported his son that died of cancer.
Yeah.
He took off to some land, Iceland, New Zealand. I don't remember where he went to save Obrecht, but he went somewhere to save Willow also, right? So he went to save. So like he's a really good guy, and they've been making sure that they're like he's not right. And it started with like Tracy and like Ned. They're like, he's so selfish. He's so like
So
bad.
bad.
So it started verbally. So verbally, they wouldn't stop telling us he was so bad. And then like the flirting. But to be honest with you, I like this week people were like, "Oh yeah, he finally got what he deserved," and I'm like, "Meh." Like I'm just like meh about it. I'm like, "Yeah, okay, it's not the nicest to sleep with your nephew's wife. It isn't." But I
This
mean,
isn't
it's
the worst, though.
no, especially if my measuring stick is the Quartermains. Forget the rest of the town. But
Yes.
with my measuring stick being the Quartermains, I'm just like, whatever. But they're trying, right? Because remember when Ned confronted Drew? Like, oh, Drew, you're horrible. Remember Cody? Cody, like, oh, you're just paying people off. You think nobody
Yeah.
matters. I'm like, he just had money. Like, he grew up in foster care. Like, he lost his
Yes.
Franco. Like, he hasn't had a charmed life. Okay. And
Yes.
so, I mean, anyways, so then like when he was saying like, oh, you're just gonna Ned was telling him you're just gonna pay people off, he's like, well, yeah, like I'm gonna try to quiet this down. And then he's like, yeah, well, what about sweet James, are you gonna punch him? And I was like, no, he's not gonna
What's
punch a
happening?
kid. Where do we jump from him like paying off a bunch of adults to keep quiet and then go from like, are you gonna punch James, are you gonna punch your next
A
son?
child?
So I'm just laughing at how hard they're like trying to be like, he's so bad, like I'm gonna suggest that he punch a child, that he just go to any lengths. And they're like, he's such a bad person. I'm like, we get it. You want him to be AJ. I understand. I understand.
Oh, I
Point
didn't get that. Thank you
taken.
for
Point
that.
taken. Drew is a bad boy, air quotes. And I'm
Bad
just
mama
like,
jamma. Hmm.
that's why it's like when he sees Willow and he's like, oh, Willow, like, you're not a good liar. Who is me? Because I'm a bad person. That's how I saw it. Like, you're like, it's so sexy. And I'm just like, look at Drew trying to be like, I'm a terrible person. I'm like, you're not, though. Like, you're really not, like, at all. But he's just into Willow. And to be honest, like, when she slept with him, and I say she slept with him, he just
Uh-huh.
lost Sam. Okay. Like, he's been clear. He's like, I
Yeah.
don't have anything holding me back. I'm not with anyone. And to
So
be frank with
true.
you, this whole Nina thing, how has he like, she knows. She
Yeah.
knows. He's like, yeah, I'm sleeping with you. You know that I'm kissing your daughter. Ma, like you've agreed to this.
Yeah,
Nina
pretty
has agreed to this.
much.
She also thinks it's a good idea to sleep with him to distract him from Willow. So for me, I'm just like, I don't see how he's in the wrong here. It's not like Nina doesn't know who she's dealing with and what he's doing, and that there is a connection because Willow is telling her that there's a connection. So
Yes.
he's not married to anybody. So if he wants to have a crush, he has a crush, right? He didn't make vows to a single person. But he is the one that's trying to contain it somewhat as he teases her.
Yes.
But on the night Sam died, how much, like, he was vulnerable and she was like,
Yeah. She took
hi,
advantage.
I kind of feel like, yeah, for sure. It's like, oh no, Sam died, should I go to Drew, who knew her as Jason for a couple of years, and then maybe a total of a year and a half knew who Sam was, or my husband, who's known Sam for a large portion of his life.
Oh
I'll
yeah.
go comfort Drew, who I've been telling to stay away from me.
So bad. It's
So
so bad.
I do blame Willow, and I'm just annoyed. It's like, just because, like, you're doe-eyed and you're like, "Oh, I'm so nice." Yes, but you're still cheating on your husband. Still. Like,
Yeah,
you're still
still.
doing that.
And that's what's so fascinating because she's low key her mom. She she's going for exactly what she wants by any means, trying to say that it's not her fault. She does love her family. She wants to continue along with Michael. She's trying to shove down these feelings for Drew. But at the end of the day, like she wanted to complete the mission. And if
Oh, yeah.
everything was different, and if they all maybe didn't live in the same house, she'd probably continue to sleep with him. Like, I get it, he's hot, whatever. But it's the whole like playing innocent and taking no responsibility, like Sasha said.
Yeah. So I just think that she's at fault here too, and I get that he
Oh
wants
yeah.
to protect her. But what I just think is insane is that after all of this, that, like, she's at the election party. I'm like, I'm gonna miss you. I should go
I
buy my
know.
and I'm like, yeah, you remember him? I'm like, this is insane to me. Like,
No,
I'm shocked that you went. Who is
I
gonna miss you? Is the press gonna be like, oh no, his nephew's wife didn't show up? Is something awry? Like, you could have stayed home. Like, didn't Ned stay home?
I think my favorite was when Drew and Willow were telling secrets right in front of Brooklyn and Nina.
Yeah.
Sound noise was like so not work. Like it was just blocked off. They were in like in the dome of silence, I guess, at this point in time.
But, like, Willow feels no need to, like, adjust. It's like, so
Yeah.
far in her mind, Michael knows that they kiss, but like, even with that, she's already hugged Drew in front of his face because, oh,
Oh
Sam
yes.
died. She's like, I'm gonna tuck his kid in, and then after he gets punched, she's like taking care of it.
Yeah, so
And Drew's still
bad.
convinced. He's like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure all that happened over one kiss. I don't I don't think Jason knows anything. Nobody could possibly know." And they covered that. They explain why Michael is the only one to have gotten that
Yes.
alert. So because he got a new nanny, okay? He installed a nanny cam just for Wiley, and he clearly doesn't care about how that nanny anybody else's
No,
kids.
no.
Nobody else
Very
cares. Everyone else is
insignificant.
like, "Oh, there's a new stranger in the house that's being employed." No one else is concerned but Michael. And how many times did he give that woman a chance to tell the truth?
It's painful to watch. Like I know Michael slept with somebody else. Like I get it.
It
There's
doesn't
gonna be
count,
lots of.
Mel. It
I
doesn't
know it
count.
doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
But that woman could, I mean, I know she's an actress, but she's a really good liar to his face. Not in
But, like,
front of
no, no,
other
no.
scenes with Drew and stuff.
No, no. He's like, "I want the truth." She's like, "What do you mean? Can I have a
Oh yeah,
textbook
that's true.
definition
I wrote that down.
before I say that? Tell me what the truth means." The truth is, tell me
The
what you know,
definition.
tell me what you know, and I'll confirm what you know. We both know that there's one kiss, and I am terrified
Uh,
to find out about two kisses.
uh,
It's like, it's so funny to me. It's so funny to me. And then that part about, so, like, I am shocked. Like, not only, and the poor Michael, he goes to talk to his dad, but there's a lot going on in the fam. And so then finally he confides in his, like, his OG dad, the first dad he's ever had, Jason.
because Sonny ignores him for Natalia. Like I couldn't believe it.
Well, I mean, Christina was in an accident. It wasn't a real accident because
But
nobody
come
saw it
on.
happen.
He
Yeah.
didn't know. He just saw Natalia's name. It was like, stop telling me your deepest, darkest secrets. I have a phone call. Hi,
But
spam caller. My son's here, but I will listen to you speak.
he thinks his marriage is in trouble. It's like, that's got to be big for him to say that he's
Yeah.
questioning everything. Like at best, you'd assume they're fighting over something as ridiculous as swim lessons, which is how it all started with Drew. It's just like, hey, Drew, with no shirt on, what do you think about swimming lessons? No, I think he had a shirt on when she had that conversation. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. So Michael finds a fatherly figure to talk to, and he doesn't just tell Jason, he
Oh, it
shows
was
him
amazing. He showed him the
a
whole video.
video. I
That was
was like,
wild.
what has happened? Jason suddenly is interested in the tea. He's like, yes, let me see
All
that
over
vid.
town.
Yeah. He's like, let me see the video. And I get it. Everyone's like, yeah, that is Jason. Like, Jason does take matters into his own hands. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, sure, like justice. But like, I don't know about you. Obviously, they're rejigging like Drew's
Mhm.
character. Okay. He's bad. Uh-huh. And then with Jason, they're like, he's volatile. And I'm like, not really. Like,
Not
not
really, like
even a
at
little
all,
bit. Like,
ever.
he's like the most stoic person. But now he's like reckless and he'll do anything for Michael. And I'm like, to be frank with you, at best, Jason of like a few writers ago would have maybe punched Drew once.
Fair.
That's it. He wouldn't have pulverized him. He'd have been like, okay, all right, someone cheated. Sucks for you guys. Sorry, Michael. Drew, you get one punch. And he would have left it at that. To go like crazy like that, the only explanation, like, yes, he loves Michael, is like the Sam grief. But I have a hard time believing that all of that is just for Michael. I mean, you waited. You
Okay.
waited in your childhood home that you don't recall for him to come there and then beat him up in your foyer. Like, come on.
I
That's not
think your fancy. I feel like
uh,
on my end, I feel like it was a lot of pent up stuff. It was
okay.
like you pretended to be me and you had a daughter with Sam. You slept with my
Ooh.
best friend slash lover. You are living in the Quartermain house and trying to live my life. And not
No.
only that, you're abusing all of it. And the person I feel is my son, you're taking advantage of his wife. So I feel like it was a culmination of things.
Damn. Okay, that I can get behind. I like that. They should have that in the subtitles so we can buy into the story more. Especially Ned coming out and him being the one to tear them apart. It's like, Drew, you were a Navy SEAL. Get it together. Like, get it together. Do you know what I think happened?
What?
Jason used two arms. And when he was in jail, remember that guy in the library who punched him and then he stopped him? And he had one arm free, but then never retaliated. So I think
Oh my
and
word.
we had to read the Dear Diary about it. So the only thing I kept thinking was, yeah, like I mean, I guess Drew was totally blindsided by the fact that Jason used both arms.
Sure. It is surprising, like given the
Oh,
situation, the life Drew lives.
oh gosh, and Nina being like, "Oh my gosh, why is he doing this?" I'm like, like
You know.
you know.
Mm, mm,
And maybe there's
mm.
more that you don't know because you know that there's a
Mhm.
double kiss, and maybe there's more that you don't know, but you just want to believe whatever you want to believe because she's at the party with Maxie,
Oh
and
gosh,
like
so
Maxie's
funny.
warning her against whatever he's doing, and she's all like, "No, no, no, I like it." That's all. It's like I don't have words. I just highlight that. But I was shocked at the line Maxie had where she's telling Nina to
Mm,
wash out wherever he's been. I'm like, that was
that was
graphic.
wild.
Graphic. I was like,
Like, what is happening?
but like Nina is like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? It's like that's what I mean. She knows. She knows. And Willow knows what she's doing. Yeah.
What?
Willow knows what Willow is doing, is what I'm
Oh,
saying.
okay. I was like, what's happening? Okay, got it. Yes, totally.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's so entertaining to me. And I'm like, okay, so now they're really shifting Drew because now Drew is like, okay, so I'm a guy who does things that cross the lines and I pay people off. Literally. Okay. Watch me do it. I'm gonna do it at the bar. I'm gonna do it with Cody. Then I'm gonna do it with Jason. That's the kind of guy I am. That's me. I punch babies. I pay people off. I'm a
And I
kissing
yell at Carly
machine.
for many years ago in the past.
That was like, I was like, what? He's like, you see, this is why I broke up with you. Not because I was into Willow, but because And I love it. Like, you're gonna take his side no matter what. And I'm like, yeah, Drew, why don't you test that theory? Oh, okay,
I
yeah, let's
know.
see.
Oh my
I
gosh.
slept with your son's wife. Let me guess. You're gonna take Jason's side. So when I'm watching
Yeah,
it, I'm
I
like, what
totally
is
knew you were
happening?
gonna do that. It's so crazy.
I was like, are you seriously doing that? He's like, did you come here to find out? And I'm like, Drew, why are you tugging at the you don't want to pull that string. You don't want to touch that. Why are you antagonizing her? You always take his side because you're proving her point. And she's
Yes.
also proving his point. Jason's right, and she'll always agree.
Yeah, 100%. It was a very confusing conversation.
But that's who Drew is now. He's a
And it's
confuser.
confusing.
He's such a
It's
bad person.
confusing.
He's a confuser in the foyer. And I've never even heard him say he's going to take Scout to DC. He said, I'm leaving to
I
DC after
know.
the funeral. Meanwhile, you have Jason being like, okay, I want, Scout and Danny to stay together. Oh, Jason, let's talk about Jason for a second. And sorry, like loving Elizabeth, because at that point, I felt like Elizabeth was the
Hmm.
first person this week to remember that Sam's dead.
I know. It's wild.
And this is off the like coming off of like Jason's conversation with Anna. So let's remember Sam dies same night, Sasha stuff happens. So when Anna's calling him in, that's the same night.
Yes.
And let's remember Anna was also there when she knew the plan about rescuing Sasha and Jason's
Yep.
role in it and Brennan's and
Yes, she
everybody's.
was.
She knew everything and then was mad when she got kicked out of the room because she couldn't be a part of the mission. And then when she realized that her crime scene was tied to that, instead of calling Brennan for info, colleague to colleague, she knows nobody else is going to talk to her but Jason. And then she makes Jason come down. And I was, wait, did that happen this week? Yes, it did. Just like, it feels like we've had so many ridiculous conversations that I couldn't
Yes.
remember if it was in the past or not. I wish it were. It kind of was. But, anyways, it's Friday. So he goes down there. Why? Why?
What are you asking me? Are you gonna tell me? I was like, I didn't watch it. I know why he went down. I don't understand why he went.
I'm
I would
so
have never showed up.
I'm just so angry about that whole conversation. Like she's like, tell me everything. And then instead, like basically she's saying, I'm so mad that me and you didn't get to adventure together. And I feel really left
Yes.
out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm
Yes.
gonna accuse you of working with Holly. I'm like, what? You came with me to help rescue Lucky, but for real, you like Holly and everyone better than me, and you stole diamonds. Did you? And I was just like, this is disgusting. And then she's like, you're just not going to tell me
Yes.
anything. And then Jason is like, you can't read my diary, but we could hang out sometime. And so, like, he was, he was just like, I can't tell you everything, just like how you can't tell me everything about your job. And she was like, hmm, wow, I must sound like Kate's right now. And I'm like, yeah, you sound like a
Oh
loon.
yeah,
Like, do
you
you
do.
not what's going on right now? And I was just so mad that he entertained it all. But what did you make of this? So, like, at the end of their really frustrating conversation where she's literally talking to him like a child, going like, you sit down, I'm not done with you. It's like, does she even know that
Yeah, it
Sam's
was
dead?
messed up.
Does she
Well,
know
that's
that?
what I was wondering. She must not know. I mean, that would be. She's already a terrible at humaning.
Yes.
So I'm like, at the very end, she can't know. Like, I hope that when she does find out, or if she shows up at the funeral, like I think that's when they might have another kiss, though, which I'm totally grossed out about.
When he walked out, he said something to her like
We
about
can
like their
still be
boundaries.
friends.
No, but like if we couldn't be, that would like that would suck. Like basically saying this is how it has
Yes.
to be, and if we couldn't be, that would be bad. And part
Yeah.
of me was reading it like, okay, is this little friendship coming to an end? We can only hope. But during their conversation, she said, "You always pick Sunny." I'm like, "You're a weirdo." And
Right.
others, she said, and others, meaning Carly.
Yes.
And I'm
Yes.
like, so what are you doing? She's like, oh, is it like her being like, oh, this is so hard being friends with a criminal. You've done this so many times and it never works out. Like, not only did you just do this with Sunny, like, look at your Duke saga,
Right.
Valentine, Peter. Like, how many times do you want to do this? And then are you surprised? Like, you basically want people to change for you or to prioritize you in the way that Jason prioritizes Carly. And that is what drives her nuts. because not
Exactly.
even Valentine would do that. You know, like Jason would never risk Carly whatsoever, but Valentine was risking framing her just a little bit. Not fully, but a little bit. And she was running around saying,
Yeah,
"See, he cares about me. He cares about me." It's just really sad, honestly.
it really is. It's messed up.
And another thing that kind of bugs me, and it kind of gave me like Curtis flashbacks, but like Felicia convincing Sasha to give
Oh,
Holly a
ew.
chance. I'm like, why can't we let, like, I don't know, give people a week? Like
Thank
I
you.
like when Marshall came back, everybody who was not abandoned by Marshall was like, "Oh my gosh, Curtis is a cool dude. He plays a sax. Like you should take him back. 40 years is like not that long." You know what I mean? Like it was just ridiculous how they wanted Curtis to fast forward everything. You know, I think Curtis would have gotten there, but he
Exactly.
had the right to his feelings. And I think with Sasha, like with Felicia, she wouldn't stop. She wouldn't stop going on that. And it's like you're projecting a lot. I get it. You suck. You abandoned your kids and Maxie gave you another chance. Great. That's great for you. But like that's your story. That's your story. And you're acting like
Yes,
Holly gives a crap for that chance. And regardless of what you're saying and your experience with Holly, she could never hurt you the way that she hurt Sasha.
exactly. It's completely different.
Like Felicia is willing to be Sasha's family, right? Felicia
Hmm.
decided to stop running and adventuring and stay put. Like she did make that decision. Holly is not making that decision. And if she's not making it now, she's never really going to make it. And so I just couldn't believe that after everything Sasha's been through, you kind of make it seem like it's her responsibility to mother her mother. She reaches out, opens herself up, just for exactly what Sasha knows to be true happens.
Yeah.
Her mom is leaving town, and this time Robert's like, "Me too." And I'm like, "So you can add losing dad to your list also?"
It was disgusting. Sasha has found her place in the Quartermain. She's found her people. But the fact that they made such a big hubbub about being Robert's daughter and not being able to be with Cody, and then he just picks up and leaves, I don't understand the point of the story.
I was just shocked. You know what I mean in terms of like Robert's character picking up and leaving, and like even there were some captions about like like wanting someone to look at you the way that Holly and Robert look at each other.
Ew.
I'm like, not even close. There's
No
not, like, I mean,
thanks.
it's, you know what's interesting is that you have these long standing like storylines, like love stories and relationships, and it's interesting because think about it, that there's people who knew Robert and Holly from the beginning, and there's other people in other
Yes.
generations who are watching it from a different start point. And I think that's really fascinating, right? Because there might be people out there who actually understand. It's kind of like how we felt at
Hmm.
first when we saw like Liz and Lucky. And then you have
Yes.
Joss bursting our bubble, going like, he's not that great. Like, look at how destructive he is. And you're like, oh my gosh, you're ruining this for me. And I find it really interesting the fact that like I'm watching Robert and Holly from a different start point. And based on what I'm seeing,
Yes.
there's nothing about this that I find attractive or would want. And I don't buy into
Absolutely.
Holly's stuff. So I find that really interesting because I'm sure everybody feels a different way about them having this moment. And then I think for the peers of those characters, to them, it's like, yay, they have their moment, but it definitely didn't come through for me.
No, same, because I'm a fan of Diane. Holly's been in and
Yes.
out of all of this. What I was really having a hard time with too with this whole Holly storyline is when she goes stomping into Anna's office and she's trying to get help from her. But she clearly said that Sidwell is basically after Holly, Sasha, and Robert. So at this point in time, she forgot about Ethan.
Yeah.
But so Sidwell gives two hoots about who Ethan is to Holly. So every now and then, Holly picks and chooses who is important in her life. Whereas Diane, if she holds you close and you're in her circle, she is on your side forever.
Yeah,
So it's
I'm
hard for
so
me to
annoyed.
understand, right? It's hard for me to understand the Robert that we've come to know and where he stands with his family and what he believes in and his values. That somebody who's flighty that comes in and out of his life is the love of his life.
Yeah, but the thing is, for him, this is like something he's never gotten to have
Yeah,
because she
it's so
always
annoying.
disappeared. So that adds to like his wanting just to kind of complete unfinished business, if you will, like living in that like kind of fantasy, that person who never
Yeah.
chooses you kind of a situation. But I think that exactly like you said, we have a loyalty to Diane and to Sasha. So therefore, it's
Yes.
really difficult, and especially the rough go Sasha's had, blow into town, blow up her relationship, say it's her cousin, and then leave you there. It's brutal.
Awful. Completely awful.
Oh my gosh. And then you have Lucky and Elizabeth. So you have Liz who's remembering Sam and checking in on Jason. So right after the conversation about like Jason and Anna and their friendship, I was like, Anna, like you literally have no idea what friendship looks like. She sees Jason as like a possession, a prize.
Yes. Yes.
Just like how he's been seen like in the past in a way. And so then you have Elizabeth checking on him, being like, how are you doing? And I love that Liz was speaking for Sam, saying, well, Sam would want Danny and Scout to stay together. She would really want that, but she also wants Rocco too to stay with
Yes. I
them.
loved
So I
that.
like that
Mhm.
Elizabeth brought that up. And it's just that what Jason is saying about fatherhood to Spinelli, to Elizabeth, is in stark contrast to the conversation she had with Lucky.
Oh my gosh. I loved, early start to Elizabeth for those
Yeah.
two scenes and the fact that they had them acted out back to back. I love that she
Yes.
can be such a compassionate, understanding person and how far she has come with Jason. And it also speaks to how far she's come with her relationship with Sam and that they were a unit,
Yeah.
her and Carly and Sam when Jason was gone. So what she is saying holds so much weight. It isn't just somebody being kind about something. It's family telling family that they love you and support you and are want to help you. And then you have Lucky just prancing in. Like I cannot take it with this little half sad face anymore. I'm done.
I know, like, go to therapy and get over yourself. So, like, I like, she said everything that I think everybody watching wanted to say. It was
Yes.
so well said. The fact that she reminded him of Sam's role
Mm-hmm.
and sacrifice and how much she would wish for just a second with her kid and the kids same in return. How she said that, Aiden lights up any praise or sense of validation from Lucky, and he doesn't think that that's important enough when it really is enough and
Yeah.
meaningful to Aiden. I think was just a lot. I had it at that point with Lucky. Even today,
Mm-hmm.
saying I'm still deciding, I'm like, how about you just go?
Ew.
Like, I'm so sick of the indecisiveness, especially when you know you're like the characters here for a short time, and also with all of the changes, it's like just make up your mind. And at that point, I just wanted him on the black and white plane that Holly and Robert took off on.
Yes.
I'm like, just go on the black and white plane and get out of here.
Yes, and like his conversation with Sunny, I couldn't tell if Sunny was playing devil's advocate, if
Yeah,
he
he
was just
was.
being, it was just, I love that they were in the boxing ring together, and I love that he provided him with the options. And at some point after all of it, he made a phone call, which I'm thinking has to do with Lucky and basically offering something to him that he can't refuse. But again, we don't know how long his contract actually is
Yeah.
for his stint. And if they do have him on, I need there to be a little longevity because I can't handle seeing Elizabeth's family go through something like that again of somebody they love leaving.
Yeah, especially Aiden, at least having being on a good in a good place where Aiden would actually support Lucky's departure. But yeah, no, I think Sonny was trying. Look, I just don't think Lucky's in the same place as he was before. I can understand his impulse is still there, the restlessness is still there, but the situation is so different that even everybody around him is kind of like, what is the matter with you? Like, I think everyone
Right?
around him doesn't really have that patience. And I do think it's too real. And I think that's the thing. Like in the when he's out in the world, he feels competent. And when he's at home, he has to face the fact that he's hurt people, that he may not know how to, like, he doesn't feel successful there, if you will. Like, he feels like a failure
Yes,
and
of
he doesn't
course.
know how to be useful because he just doesn't know that, like, how to be a dad, basically, or how to be a person to all these people. And I don't know. I just hope he figures it out at this point because yeah, it's annoying because it's like, what's the point of all these comings and goings? We could have had Sam still.
It's very frustrating.
And
Super frustrating.
it's hard to hear Laura be like, "Oh my gosh, I need news about Lulu." And I'm like, "Yay, she's still
Ew.
comatose. Woohoo." Like I'm just kind of like
I'm
as an
over it.
audience member, it's so hard to be happy for like rando sleepy Lulu.
Yes, I'm not like we talked about last week. I'm still mourning. I'm making peace with it more and more. But when Laura's getting excited about Lulu, it just elicits anger. Like she tried to mom
It
talk
does.
her out of the coma this week, which I did find a little entertaining. But apart from that, I'm still feeling a bit of sadness through rage.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard. And that's the thing. Like today, Jordan's saying that she's like tempering her happy because it's like Sam did die. And I think now she's mad at Lulu. She's like, well, somebody died for you. So wake up. And I'm like, yeah, that's how comas
Yes.
work. But what I did forget to mention that I thought was actually really significant because so many things happened at once that we
Hmm.
forgot that this could very well still be a big question for Christina when she said, why did she live and Sam died? And I kind of forgot about that. We started to focus on the grief of the baby, but I kind of
Yes.
forgot that, like, yeah, she totally could have died herself. And I
Yes.
forgot about that portion of it.
I did too. Like, I think, and that's why she's being self reflective and exploring who she is. And maybe that's why we saw all of the extremes of who she is this week. And like you said,
Hmm.
wrap it into who Christina wants to be and for her to
Yeah.
find her path. Not to be this perfect person, but find that in between space for
But
her, not what people are telling her she is.
yeah, to be okay with who she is. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like you don't have to be perfect and you don't have to live up to Molly's expectations either to be okay. You know what I mean? Because Molly's
Yes.
always there to say those things. And again, I want to see her evolve and kind of her deal with her, anger and all of her feelings.
Yes.
There was also a really beautiful Alexis Diane moment, where Diane was
Yes.
just sort of indulging Alexis and the way Alexis leaned on her and hugged her. There was a flash, real fast
Yes.
on, yeah, Sam's will. So I'm wondering what that will mean. And even Elizabeth suggested that Jason move into the Quartermains if it means keeping all the kids
Yes.
together. So I
That's
was
what
like, oh
I
my gosh,
said.
what you said could possibly happen.
Exciting.
Um, so Drew, I think, wants to make up for sleeping with Michael's wife by offering
Mm.
him the CEO position.
Yep.
Meanwhile, Curtis is celebrating. And do you know what he's learned about being CEO? He
What?
wants to start a music program. What? And
So
I'm like,
confused.
being a CEO is about the bottom line, making money, expanding.
Yep.
And he was like, I would like, this is what I've learned about my time. I've seen things. And now I want to start. I'm like, that sounds about right, Curtis, that you want to start a music program. You want to do 50 different jobs at the same time.
Of course, why not?
But I wonder if Michael's going to take it and what it's going to mean for Curtis because, he sees Drew as a good friend. He's saying how good it is to have someone that they know like that in power. So I don't know what it would mean for Curtis if he's like, you can't be CEO.
I would love to see what that looks like though, because then maybe he'll go back to the club.
Yes. Like, I think his disappointment will be hilarious.
Translation, yeah, kind of.
But he still had a job about like wellness, just not like CEO. Like he had a
Yes,
job and then he did
exactly.
interim. So we'll see what that means for him. But also another thing about the Drew narrative, right? So even Brennan was jumping on the
Ugh,
bandwagon. He's like,
yes.
"Hi, Carly. Drew is also a bad guy."
Bad, so bad, guys.
Because he was a stranger to himself. he was John Doe once. He was kidnapped. You were friends for
Hmm.
so long and nothing happened, and then all of a sudden he comes back and his Sam is with someone else at this point, and he was nothing. He was a nobody in society. And so you are a wealthy, successful woman. So he attached himself to you and built his
Yes,
way back up. And I'm like, okay, there, I
so
get it.
messed up.
He's a bad guy. Like, I don't know how many which ways they want to tell us, but I feel like I got the message. But it was just interesting because Brennan is a guy we've come to trust. And now Brennan is telling us he's a bad guy. And it's a little different.
I
But
still
I
don't
don't
even
re-
know how I feel about Brennan. So
no, but I'm easily persuaded and gullible. But like but Drew, that's not it. You know what I mean? Like I don't see Drew being like, I'm
yeah,
gonna date Carly to get social standing. It's like he had the Quartermains.
I'm gonna date her hard, guys.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of dating, so
Yeah,
Trina meets her love interest, and everybody knows
yeah.
who he is but her. TJ knows, Joss does, and she's like, I don't care. Oh my gosh, I have to share this with you. It doesn't mean that
Tell
like
me.
I saw this comment and I wanted to die. It was so clever. I'm not saying I agree with everything, but I mean, it was really funnily said. Okay, so listen to this.
Yes.
This is okay. Why is Trina so pissed at some guy that didn't come to her paint by numbers class? Didn't she drop out for like a year to cry over her 1 month relationship? She's not really that school focused to be this mad about her GPA. And I was like, savage.
That is
Savage.
savage.
So
Oh my
good. I died. I died.
gosh.
That was so funny. That was so funny to me. But Trina has a new guy. So now what does this all mean? Okay. Because Gio
Mhm.
was introduced and he's kind of like a Cameron. He's close with Joss. Joss is with Dex. Molly's been hanging with Dex.
Yep.
So what's going on? I'm going to get a rotation happening here.
I think so. Like, unfortunately, I think, or maybe just Trina needs a fling or something like that. I love that she called him Obi-Wan
Yeah, because
instead
she
of,
doesn't 2v1.
because
She's
I
like,
know
I don't.
nothing about football either.
Yes, I would have
So,
done that too. I totally would have done that too. But the thing is, or so Gio could just seriously just remain friends with Josh and be completely relegated to this strict Quartermain storyline. Because now they're doing this thing where nobody wants to tell Lois what's going on. And I'm annoyed that
hilarious.
Brooklyn told her. And I kind of didn't hate how they called her out, being like, Olivia confided in you and you kind
Yes.
of just you decide on your own. Like people try to tell you things and then you sort of play God with it and you kind of decide what you think is best. So no, you can't be trusted because you take things into your own hands. And
Hmm.
then they're like, you can't keep a secret. And then she turns around and Gio walks in. So that's
I
secrets.
know. That's just the one secret she can keep. That's why she has to tell all the others because she's just overflowing.
Exactly. So I'm wondering what's going to happen. Like we see how it is with like Brooklyn and Dante. Chase has
Yes.
been acting a bit like a stranger, but they're still having a
Yes.
baby. You know, Dante is going to move in temporarily, and maybe Alexis will think that's best for the kids. Like the kids want to stay together. And I couldn't believe it when Danny said that he had overheard
Oh,
his grandma talking
yeah.
about it. And so I am starting to think you're going to get your wish. And I think that they will I think the kids will be vocal. I think if anything, this is not a decision that Alexis can make or any of the
Exactly.
grown-ups can make on their own. And I think even if the others are too shy, I think Danny will speak up and say, this is
Yes.
what Scout wants, this is what Rocco wants, and we're a family and we're gonna honor our mom this way. And so I
Yeah.
think if they insist, all like, what are you gonna do? I think all of them will bend. And I think it's possible that Drew will have to face Jason more often. Well, unless he's like really in DC. But yeah, I think the Quartermain's house is gonna get full.
I absolutely love every second of that. I love when Drew was on the couch and that's like, don't get any blood on the upholstery. We don't want Monica to get upset.
I was watching that and I was like, yeah, seriously, nobody needs blood everywhere. Plus, the kids don't need to see that. But then Carly pointed it
Exactly.
out to
Oh,
Jason and
yes.
was like, the kids were upstairs. You can't do this crap anymore. And I couldn't believe
I
how
loved it.
defiant Jason was being. He's
I
like, yeah, I
know.
can. Yeah, I can. I could do what I want. Everything is fine. I was like, and then when Rick came and then Rick was trying to provoke him, and then he
Hmm.
like pretended to like dust crap off of his
Yes.
sweater, that weird
So
hand
good.
movement when he said,
It
"You
was
want to punch
weird.
me?" Oh my
He
gosh,
like
yeah, it was
chopped
like,
him.
but that's what I mean. I'm like, this is a weird version of Jason, like a
It
little twist,
is.
like a little they're giving him a little hot headedness.
And the thing is, he was kind of if memory serves me correct, which it probably won't. He
Memory
was
serves
more of
me
a
right.
hot when 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 he was Jason Quartermain, he was a
Yeah,
little bit of a hothead. I wouldn't say like he had more personality, obviously, and he was like like it doesn't fit
he was a
with Jason
spoiled rich
Morgan.
kid.
Yes, he was, and he very much acted that way. But even when Jason lost his memory, I still don't feel he had any like. Did he have ragey moments back then? Do you remember?
Well, he was angry at his family.
He
He
was.
alienated them for like a good decade and more. Like he was ragey around them. Like didn't he drive the motorcycle into their living room?
Oh, possibly.
'Cause he was mad. So
He
I
was
mean,
very
yeah,
much.
he did act out, I guess, at the start of all that. And I mean, he did for a long time. Like he did evolve. Like once he had kids, he started to soften and
Exactly.
kind of apologize and tried to have some relationship with his mom. Because beyond that, he was all about rejecting all of them. He was really
Yes.
black and white on anyone telling him to do anything. He was like, I have to have
Yes.
100, and that's like a bit excessive. And so, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he did kind of tone down over time. So even as Jason Morgan, he did evolve. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of people there. So like, but like, what does this mean for Geo, right? So we've got the Brooklyn, we've got the
Mm-hmm.
Dante possibility of them having a kid, and Lulu wakes up to that. He's in love with Sam and maybe has a baby with Brooklyn.
A full grown human.
And then Tracy's like, move in, Lulu.
Oh, right. Yeah, yeah. It's a fun time.
Yeah, and the whole town will be living there. So it'll be easier for her to
Exactly.
catch up.
um, I think we covered all the things and talked about all of the stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it. I'll say sure.
Okay, so I have a little, and then you're gonna start talking about something. Okay, I have a
Mm,
logistic
mm, mm,
corner situation. So you know when Holly goes into Robert's office, so when he's the DA, his
mm-hmm,
door is unlocked.
mm-hmm.
She walks over to his desk, rifles through his papers to
Yes.
find a thing to write a letter, and then his computer screen is on. So I work in marketing for a corporation, and I lock my door, and we've gone through so many IT trainings about literally the minute you leave your desk, you put it in sleep mode. So I just think that it was very irresponsible.
She also could have texted.
But then she couldn't kiss the letter.
Oh my,
Kissing your phone is like not the same.
it's like she did all of that, and then even she's there. Anyways, she's
Yeah, I
gone.
know. I
She's
know.
gone.
Thank goodness. Yeah,
And
it's
so
done. It's
Sasha's
over.
happy about that too. She's like, I'm kind of glad they're both gone. Because like we're all worried about Sasha. And then
I
they're letting us
know.
know, don't worry about it. She likes it. She likes being
She
abandoned.
loves
So like,
it.
okay.
Yeah, it's super fun, guys.
And then like I don't even really pay attention too much today, but like Anna and Felicia. So Anna invited Felicia over to say, like, this shouldn't be, they shouldn't fall into each other's arms. I'm
Yeah,
like, all
yeah.
right. Maybe you could do your job, but sure, we could do this instead.
I did love that Anna Diane go for a drink situation and they give that like a fun star.
I didn't even know that was ever a thing. And I thought
Me
that's where she
too.
was gonna learn that Sam died.
Oh,
But
right.
she didn't.
She didn't. Totally didn't.
But yet her funeral's coming up, but she's the only person in town who hasn't mentioned it. She's like, Jason, I want you to tell me everything. This is what friends do, but I'll say nothing about your Sam dying. I'm like, okay.
You big weirdo.
Hmm.
Okay. Do you have any favorite lines, any stars to give out?
Oh my gosh. I have stars. I have
Yeah.
stars. I
Let's
have
do it. Let's
stars
throw all the stars. Not
for
like, yeah, yeah, let's throw them out.
okay. um, I'm gonna give a star to like Natalia, Christina moments, Alexis, Diane for sure, Elizabeth, Elizabeth with Jason,
Yes.
Elizabeth with Lucky. Oh, a Jason Spinelli scene.
Yes.
Maxie a lot because she's so fun.
So good.
Um, Rick. I know he's a jerk, but
I
like he does
know.
it. Yeah, like I miss
So
it
well, so
so well.
well with his scenes with Ava, where you're like, ooh, I like the way he's talking to her, and then how he's like talking to Drew and talking to Jason, and he just like gets under your skin, and you're like, you're really good at what you do. I love
Yeah. I am gonna give a star to Ava. He's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Do that on the stand. I'm like, speak from the heart. Like she means what she's saying. I did feel
it.
bad for her, right?
Yeah,
Like
I
when
do
I yeah.
too.
Are you ready
I
for the
mean,
funeral?
no, I'm so not ready. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You?
No, I said to bring us down at the end. I don't
Okay,
know
I was like,
why.
you
It's like I
always
have
do
it.
this
Yeah.
every week.
I'm programmed.
Well, I will refocus the situation. So
Okay. Let's do it.
I'm gonna give a star to sexy Isaiah because he shines with everybody he's
Oh,
with,
yeah. I'm like, you can leave, Lucky. If your only job was to bring Isaiah back,
right?
fine. Just go. Just go.
And I'm gonna give a star to that so freaking cute moment with Elizabeth and Terry when Elizabeth's kind of like inquiring as to what's going on, and Terry's like, "It's an HR matter." She's like, "Okay, so I'll close the door."
I know that was really funny. And all I have to say is more Terry, less Portia. She's like, get back to me. Get back to
Yes.
best to me when you're I'm like, exactly, exactly. Portia's left the building at this point. So I'm like, please, please no. More like Terry could do the job. It was great with her and Britt, But I don't
Yes.
she shouldn't co-chief with anybody else. She should just be all the chief.
Oh, 100%. Oh my gosh, we covered all the things. We talked about all the stuff. That's a wrap, folks. Have a fantastic weekend. Purchase the coloring books for lovely Christmas gifts. And we won't be chatting next week, but we
Oh,
will
yeah.
post on our
Oh,
channel.
yes, yes, yes. But also, when we come back on the 29th, it's going to be Mel's birthday and we're going to have wine. So I don't know why I need to warn you about that, but we're going to do that to have like a little party on her birthday.
So basically, when you listen, have a little party too. Celebrate me.
Yes. Yes. Get prepared. I forget that it's like nighttime when we're doing this, but it's not when they're listening.
Yeah, that's true. But
Yeah,
they
it's
can
not the
listen at
same.
nighttime if they want to.
Yeah. You can sit really quiet on Friday night and see if you can hear us recording. Yeah.
Late at night when you hear the wind travel.
It is too
Please cut
hot
that
to
out.
sit in a closet. No, I'm leaving this.
Oh my gosh, everybody have a great weekend. Bye.
Bye.